Put your hands together and clap for Priya Guyadeen, everyone. Priya Guyadeen.
Hello, namaskar. Together now, everybody, hesitate. Yes, come on. Okay. The bucket chicken is coming. 1 minute. Hold on. We must dance for the butter chicken. Otherwise, it is not very buttery. It is how the God meant it to be. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, namaskar. I am Ranimala Basirai Chaudhary. Okay. I am Priya Guyadeen's auntie. Thank you. Our names come from the great Hindu scripture, Scrabble. Oh, you are familiar, very good. You know, it is great honor to be here tonight. I just say one more thing because my Uber driver, Bin Laden, is waiting outside and I don't want to keep him so long. But I just say that I don't speak like that. I know, some of you were scared. I heard you fumbling for that number to ICE. I grew up in Canada. I know, you guys want to be us now. Canadians have a reputation for being friendly, even the racists. They used to say things to me like, "You're pretty packy, eh? But you don't belong here, you camel-riding Hindu." I know, that was wrong. Everyone knows we ride elephants. Growing up, I fantasized about being white. They invented all the best racial slurs. All right, clearly you guys don't share my enthusiasm. But what's the worst thing you can call a white person? President? I hear the great orange blob wants to rename Canada the Gulf of Ivanka. Yeah, like, okay, Americans are going to try to make us adopt Miles? I get it. Canada would have to be a lot dumber. I get asked a lot of weird questions by Americans when I tell them I'm from Canada. Do you breathe in French? No, it's too cold to breathe. Do you walk on 2 legs or 4? Do you have roads? And that's just at immigration. If Canada was to become part of the United States, Americans would have to learn anything. That wasn't WWF wrestling, NASCAR, or monster trucks. An American wrote that joke, so. I moved to LA because I wanted to know what it would feel like to stay single forever. Even single men are taken in this town by homosexuality. I finally realized if I want a strong, handsome type, I'll have to date a lesbian. Nothing wrong with that. I love lesbians because I suck with power tools. My favorite pastime here is to people watch on the 405. No one drives on that thing. You age on it. The 405 is not a freeway. It's a live action time capsule. You get on your 30s and you get off when you're eligible for AARP. No one commutes. Everyone's just sitting there listening to Joe Rogan and getting angrier and angrier. Driving in LA is like dating. At first you're optimistic. You're like, oh, this should be fun. This looks like it'll be smooth and easy. 4 minutes later, you're sitting behind someone who can't commit to a lane. You know, everybody says they're going somewhere, but no one's moving. You signal your intentions, they ignore you. You give them space, they take advantage. You get too close, suddenly they put the brakes on. The 405 isn't a highway, it's a situationship. You keep telling yourself, maybe this time it'll be better. It never is. I'm going to get a bumper sticker for my car that says, Jesus came back, drove in LA, and then left. He turned some water into wine and died again. Since I got here, I have had 2 accidents back to back. Yeah. Finally, my rear end's getting some action. The one guy said to me, I haven't had an accident in 20 years. I said, what made you decide to start today? Then I was in a parking lot, and as I was reversing, this old guy started backing into me, so I leaned on the horn. He yelled out the window, why don't you take a chill pill? I yelled back, why don't you take a chill suppository? I swear from now on, I'm only driving through rich neighborhoods. I want to get rear-ended by money. Before I got here, I lived in Brazil for 13 years. Man, that was a lot of waxing. Always wanted a slippery pelvis. It's weird, though. What people here call a Brazilian, over there, they call it deforestation. I had a good life in Brazil. I made $7.65 an hour. That was enough to pay rent for a whole year. Yeah, it was pretty surprising back then. In Brazil, the girls are required to go to samba school to learn how to expertly shake their booties. In LA, it's the boys. I went down there for sun, sand, and sex, and I came back with a son. I'm 56 and a single mom. All right, thank you. Thank you, 2 single people. I am a cougar, and I will outrun a jogger. I'm also multilingual and ready to mingle. I speak English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Currently, I'm mingling with rednecks, gardeners, and Uber drivers. It's weird being an Indian cougar. We're extinct. We're married off by the time we're 13.
Oh, no.
Thank you. He's like, oh no, yes. That's how I felt when my parents tried to do it to me. You know, what's even rarer is an Indian female comedian. We're lucky if we even get to speak. What did the Indian wife say to her husband? Nothing, if she knows what is good for her. Wow, you guys are a spirited bunch. You see, at 42, I decided I wanted to have a baby on my own. Turns out, you need sperm. I wanted to wait until my eggs were mature. My eggs were so mature, the Chinese called them a delicacy. They were so mature, my son came out collecting Social Security. It's tough being a single mom. You know, if I was still living in Brazil, my son would be raised by a village. Here, he's raised by an iPad. Financially, it's killing me. I wrote a check for his summer camp, and at that price, we both should go. You know, my single friends seem to just meet sugar daddies. I mostly meet stevia daddies. If you're not familiar, stevia daddies are like sugar daddies. They seem sweet, but they taste funny. Stevia daddies aren't rich, but they will buy you whatever you want. From Temu. Sweet and low daddies, on the other hand, they'll buy you an apartment. but they won't go out in public with you. And monk fruit daddies, well, they have a secret. They're gay. Now, I like my coffee the same way I like my sugar daddies. Strong, rich, and will keep me up all night. And black. With a big stir stick. I hate it when my married girlfriends call themselves single moms just because they had to watch their kids for the weekend while their husbands were off fishing on Brokeback Mountain. I'm like, you ain't no single mom. First of all, you get alone time. You know what I do when I need a break? I duct tape my little angel to the garage door. Just for the weekend. It's tough being a single mom in your 50s. It's like being a one-armed juggler with arthritis. It's like waxing your bush with Gorilla Glue. It's like robbing a sperm bank with a squirt gun. Give me everything in your vaults. I'm left with a pocket full of cum. Just like in high school. I think single moms, they should get the winning lottery numbers every week, right? You know how Denny's gives you a free meal on your birthday? Well, I think single moms should get a free Denny's franchise. And we should be able to kick every guy in the cojones whenever we want and get away with it. Oh, you're a single mom? Hang on, let me get my husband. Hey, Steve, get your nuts over here. I knew you guys would like that one. So I'm going to have a glass of water or some water because I'm having a brain fart right now. Oh, okay. So my son is 11, and he's a lot like my dad, or he's a lot like his dad. I don't want him to be like my dad. He's a lot like his dad. He's handsome, athletic, and still lives with mommy. Yeah. He didn't want to come out. The doctor said he was going to have to induce me. I thought he said he was going to have to seduce me. I was like, shit, this is how the whole thing got started in the first place. When he was born, he came out white, so I took him to the beach, and we didn't leave until he was as dark as me. I couldn't have people thinking I was the nanny. He's half French, half Indian, and born in Brazil. So I'm pretty sure he's got a good shot at Stanford. He's smart, too. He can remember all my passwords. He says he wants to know his dad, so I told him he's French. He said, like the fries? I said, no, he's flaky. More like a croissant. When he was younger, his favorite movie was Toy Story. You know, Toy Story was written by a 56-year-old woman. Who else would name their favorite toys? Buzz and Woody. He also loved the Minions, but they don't fool me. Those things are butt plugs. I love my son, I do. Part of me just wants to smother him. The other part really wants to. He just got braces. He's like a high-interest credit card I can't seem to pay off. So I nicknamed him Discover. Raising a preteen is like living with someone who eats like a linebacker, showers like it's optional, and thinks he works for you, or you work for him. I'm like, I'm not your Uber driver, I'm your mom. He thinks the fridge is a vending machine, so I installed a dollar bill slot. It's funny how the hunger only hits after I buy the groceries. Before that, an apple is like poison. But, so that's why I always buy my groceries from the Apple store. I started just buying food from a farmer's market, but I never saw a boy cry so much. I just love coming home, though, and putting 12 pounds of vegetables in the fridge and sitting back and watching him open the door. Yes, honey, I bought 3 heads of cabbage and 5 bundles of broccoli. Are you hungry? I bet an apple sounds pretty good right now. Can I have an otter pop? No, but you can have what otters eat, a bag of seaweed. What's for dessert? Go dream of cheesecake. There is no dessert. He stares into the fridge. What goes with hummus? A full-time job. He keeps asking for a brother like he's something I can get on Amazon. I said siblings are not Prime eligible. And the delivery window is whenever the baby feels like it. I said, how about a black friend? Yeah, he didn't like that option either. So we settled on a dog and drove 3 hours to adopt a Chihuahua. Like there aren't any Chihuahuas where we live. When we got there, the dog rejected us. I said, you're a Mexican dog and you don't want to live with me? You'll love curry. I was disappointed. I really wanted to bring her home. I couldn't wait to put that red dot on her forehead. We ended up with a Yorkshire Terrier, a 5-pound mental illness wrapped in fur. I thought I was getting a cute purse dog, but instead I ended up with a mini dictator who's got an attitude problem. Every time we go to the dog parks, she screams at the other dogs like they owe her money. We were driving over there, and I swear from the back seat I heard her bark, "Bitch better have my money! Pay up!" She barks at dogs 20 pounds her size, or 20 sizes her size. And then she looks at me like I'm her bodyguard. It's like I'm living with an emotional terrorist. She barks at everything. She barks at doors, shadows, ghosts from the 1800s. She barks at herself for barking. She follows me around everywhere, judging everything I do and acting like I'm a complete disappointment. It's like my son got cloned. And training a Yorkshire Terrier, well, that's a lot like hostage negotiations. She hears the commands, but she consciously does the opposite out of spite. She is smart, cunning, and relentless, like a Jehovah's Witness. I hid behind the couch. I swear I thought I was adopting a pet, but I got an overlord with multiple personalities. Our dog is 3 years old, 10 in human years. So now I have 2 preteens who don't like to bathe. I can't wait till my son starts dating. He's gonna have to go out with a trash can. Mom, here, meet my new girlfriend, Rubbermaid. He only takes her out on trash days. So my son is in the 5th grade, and I helped him with his homework every night last year. I was worried. I was afraid we were both gonna get held back. He goes to public school, so he's learning to be a taxpayer. They're teaching him the metric system, so he can move to a smarter country. Yeah, the only thing I really want from his school is for them to keep him. You know, why can't after school come with homework, dinner, and a bath? He told his teacher I'm mistreating him. He said she doesn't give me enough to eat and she locks me in the cellar. We live in California. We don't have a cellar. I said, that's the last time I let you watch Silence of the Lambs before bed. The other day he found $45 on the play yard and gave some to one of the girls in his class like he's a pimp daddy. Here, go make yourself beautiful. Have an extra pudding pop on me. Keith acts like discovering $45 is a big deal. I wish he'd find $145 a month for his braces. But his idea of making money is, Mom, can I borrow 20 bucks? I heard him bragging to his friends on the phone. Bro, I found $45. I said, keep looking. I need you to find 100 more. I let him dress himself now. He looks like a superhero who fought evil and lost. Comes home, backpack hanging off one shoulder, one missing sock, hairline receding. I said, what happened to you? Nothing. Nothing? You look like the villain won custody. I'm always late dropping him off for school, so I set the clocks ahead 20 minutes. Not only am I having a hot flash, but I'm constantly having to do the math to figure out what time it actually is. And he still gets a late slip. He has to be at school by 8 a.m., and I'm internally combusting by 6 a.m. He's getting ready, I'm stripping down. He wants oatmeal, and I'm fanning my muff with a dish towel. The one thing I hate the most about elementary school is the PTA, parents to avoid. Those people are like a gang, always wanting you to buy or sell something. Every Wednesday they're outside of his school pushing Tootsie Rolls, gummy bears, purple popcorn. My son gets a whiff of that white powder and he turns into a crackhead. Oh, Mommy, please just buy me one sucker. I promise I won't ask you for nothing. I swear on my life. Come on, Mommy, please just buy me one sucker. I'll do anything. I'll find Jesus. I'll join a program. I'll do all 17 steps. Meanwhile, all the parents are buying candy for their kids except for me. Because I know if you give a child an Adderall, a Mars bar, he'll end up on the freaking moon. But you can't complain to the PTA. They tell you to take it up with the principal. So I send this guy an email, and he's got a name like a bullfighter. Estimado Señor Juan Carlos Alejandro González María Lucia Mendoza Macarena Chipotle Tapatio Conquejo Santiago Pereira Rodríguez. I wrote, ¿por qué este pendejo de la cantina de Candy está pidiendo mi teléfono? He writes me back, Señorita Guyadeen, I don't speak Spanish. I just said all that, and I'm Indian. I belong to a lot of mom Facebook groups that are schizophrenic. It starts off innocent. You join for playdate ideas. Next thing you know, you're in a 47-comment thread about whether grapes are a choking hazard until college. There's always one mom who responds to every comment like she's testifying in court. Well, actually, per my research, you messaged at 2:13 a.m. in the dark while you were rage-eating goldfish crackers. Mom Facebook groups are not communities. They're the Hunger Games with crock pots and recipes. You have to be careful, though. You don't want to break the rules in these groups, because if you do, you'll be banned for life, or worse, never invited back to the annual scrapbooking event. If you break the rules in this country, you become president. So I've been feeling a lot of things happening to me, and I didn't know who to talk to about it. So I'm glad you guys are all here. I said to my aunt, I think I'm going through the change. She said, don't worry, beta. I too went through the change. So far, we have $7.94. I know I don't look like a woman going through menopause, but my mood swings so bad, you might as well call it a park. They swing worse than a polyamorous couple on vacation. I hate my boobs. They used to be a source of pleasure. Now, they're a source of material. I don't know about you guys, but when you hit menopause, your clothing size changes. Now, my boobs are a 20 long. And that's in a bra. It's like they grew up in Canada, and then they moved to the United States, and now they're retiring in South America with my slippery pelvis. A couple days ago, I got a hot flash sitting at a red light. Then I realized my seat warmer was on. I spend almost all my time just looking for a place to fart. I sound like a helium balloon bouncing across a room. I'm like a bugle waking up the army troops in the morning. I can get pretty loud. Most of the time it sounds like a drive-by. Bop, 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 boom. Some jokes I do just for me. I'm not worried about gaining any weight. Let's face it, after 50, if you got a good camel toe, who's looking at your muffin top? But then again, you don't want your camel toe to turn into elephant toe. If I end up with elephant toe, I'll have all the Indian guys chasing after me. They're going to want to sit on me and beat me with a stick. I did get a new gynecologist. I love her. She's got a real gentle touch and Parkinson's. Let me know if you want her number. They say comedy is hard. Comedy isn't hard. You know what's hard? Trying to find a sitter on a Friday night when you got a gig. They also say comedy can make you rich. It can, if you're my sitter. Sometimes after shows, people will come up to me and they'll be like, "You're a single mom and a comedian? I don't know how you do it. You're like Wonder Woman." I say, "You know what? You're right. I'm wondering if I'm still a woman." Comedy is the only profession that will make you stand on a street corner for 6 hours, handing out squares of paper to earn the privilege to do your job for 3 minutes. I had no idea my dream required Adobe Acrobat skills. It's the only profession that will let you know your job is almost done by shining a light in your eyes. Every time they light me, I just pull out my license and registration.
My closer is, "No, officer, I don't know how fast
I was going. Male comics say female comedians aren't funny. Bro, you just opened with, "So I'm high." That's not a joke. It's a confession. Male comics do dark comedy. He's edgy. I'm hormonal. He's irreverent. I'm not in the kitchen. He's bald. I just thought I'd point that out. As a comedian, you need to have followers. So far, I've got the IRS, Chase Bank, and the LA County Sheriff's Department. Comedy has taught me to take risks, and not just on stage, but in the parking lot, walking to my car. And I love what I do. I love being a mom, and I love being a comedian, because it pays exactly the same. Just tips. People have a hard time figuring out where I'm from. They either think I'm Brazilian, Mexican, or Middle Eastern, which is okay, because I don't like to fly anyways. I feel like that was a tough one for this side of the room. Take your time. They also say I look exotic, like an Ethiopian restaurant. I get it. To some, mustard on a sandwich is exotic. Gravy is exotic. And to some white men, a pinky in the bum is exotic. I'm Guyanese. And I know what you're thinking. She doesn't look Guyanese. But how the heck would you know what a Guyanese is supposed to look like? Most people have never heard of Guyana. They just thought it was a guy named Anna. Guyana is the only English-speaking country in South America. We are like the Quebec of South America. No one knows where we are. Everyone's slightly confused by us, and they think we're saying it wrong. It's not Guyana, it's Ghana. Did you forget? No, different continent, same frustration. It's worse if I say I'm from the Caribbean, because then I have to prove I'm not a pirate. The Caribbean, isn't that close to Australia?
Oh.
Next to Iran, by Sweden. I love your rum. 99% of Guyanese music is about rum. The other 1%, missing Guyana while drinking rum. There are no Guyanese slow songs about water. You're not going to hear anybody in the club going, hey DJ, drop that hydration track. Every chorus is basically, pour it up, mash it up, don't stop. Sir, it's 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. 2/3 of the country is rainforest, so a great place to start a militia, create a cartel, or film an episode of Naked and Afraid. My great-grandparents immigrated with the British to Guyana. They landed in India like a timeshare. Congratulations, you have been selected to have free land in the West Indies. My great-grandfather was like, West Indies? I don't know West Indies. I know West Indies. I'm wearing them right now. And she made them for me with a 50-pound burlap curry sack. Very itchy. My balls are always chafing. My great-grandmother was like, shut up, let's go there. I have a brilliant idea. We'll open up a store. We'll make it convenient. We'll call it 7 to 11. I think 7 to 10:30 is better. So I was raised on a dirt floor. My parents weren't poor, just messy. When you came to our house, you were required to put your shoes on. My family is like a Snickers bar, brown on the outside and full of nuts. My mom is 86 and my dad is 90. Yes, and they are still together. Their marriage has lasted longer than the Russian-Persian War. They fight like cats and dogs. My dad screams, my mom barks. My mom once threw a typewriter at my dad. He asked for alphabet soup. She said, make it yourself. My mom is really bad with names. Like when I introduced her to my white boyfriend, Andy, she said, hello, Ramesh. It's Andy, Mom. Well, it should be Ramesh. My parents are in the dark with technology. My dad's email is the Wells Fargo wagon. Really, I like that joke. Okay. He sends texts by putting messages in bottles and throwing them in the ocean. He's a drinker too, so no shortage of bottles. His major was disappearance. After a bender, we'd see him from the family living room window on the other side of the ravine from our house. We had a long-distance relationship. So half my family's Hindu, the other half is Muslim. Half of them worship the cow, the other half want to barbecue it on Sunday. Both love goat, though. In fact, Uncle Mohan's been arrested twice. All right, no goat lovers in LA. This is going really well. Hindus have a god for everything. There's one for prosperity, there's one for fertility, there's even one for anxiety. Her name is Anaxia. I often get asked what is the difference between East Indians and West Indians. East Indians anoint the cow with holy water. West Indians, we marinate it. Most East Indians can't hold their liquor. West Indians will never let go of it. You can't pry it out of their hands. My dad's been holding on to Bacardi so long, his trunk is full of empty bottles. Easter at our house was like, okay, go look for all the empty bottles he's misplaced all year. Sometimes when he would drink, he would act like he had a gun. One time I was at my boyfriend's house and he called over there. Hello, this is Priya's father, Mr. Deodat Guyadeen. If you hurt my daughter, I will get my gun and kill you. Right after I finish this rum and coke. My parents prepare for hard times by living in hard times. They reinforce everything in their house with plywood. When a tree dies, it reincarnates as a slab of wood between a mattress and a box spring. No wonder Indians like to lay on a bed of nails. They don't throw anything away. They use the lids of Pringles cans as coasters. Frisbees, Lazy Susans. Oh, I get PTSD when I see Pringles in the store now. My childhood bedroom looks like a gender reveal party. It's like a shrine of pinkness. Looks like the inside of a Pepto-Bismol bottle. Which is ironic because every time I go in there, I get sick to my stomach. Growing up, I was taught to greet everyone by saying namaste. The best way to remember it is to ask yourself, are you going home? Namaste. So you're not leaving? Namaste. Come on, man, get out of here.
Namaste.
Oh, that's what I like, a smart audience. Even though I'm single, my mom still hopes I marry a doctor. I said, well, we're Indian. Arrange something. But it's not easy dating Indian guys. Eventually, they all resemble Gandhi. Sounds like we got some big fans of Gandhi in the house tonight. That's okay. I'm not spending the rest of my life walking 20 paces behind some loser in a 50-pound diaper with body odor that can stop a water buffalo and toenails that can snatch a salmon. You know, Gandhi believed in nonviolence, right? So Mrs. Gandhi could smack the shit out of him without repercussions. Come on, man, eat something. You are so skinny. Your pants are falling down like a gangbanger. I hate to say it, but Indian guys are some of the most aggressive drivers. Beep, beep, beep. What are you doing? You're driving like your grandmommy. Beep, beep, beep. Come on, put the pedal to the metal. Beep, 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 beep. Where did you get your driver's license? Inside a Cracker Jack box? And that was just at the drive-thru at In-N-Out. I mean, but don't get me wrong, I am ready for a real relationship. The problem is, I don't want to date guys my age because they got baggage. I want an older guy who can't remember where he left the baggage. I mean, guys still do hit on me. Like I was at the park and this guy goes, come on, age is just a number. I said, that's easy for you to say, because you're 7. Tell me something. Does daddy still live with mommy? I tried to find a boyfriend on Match.com, and then I saw my matches. I had to call suicide prevention. I don't know what it is about me, but I seem to attract the weirdest men. Contractors. Handyman, plumbers, maintenance guys. I don't know what it is about me, but something says her cracks could use some cock. I once dated a deaf guy. He texted me, I'm so happy I can communicate through text. I said, I hear you. I met one guy online. He said, I'm going to send you some pictures of my muscles because I think it will excite you. He said, "You want to excite me? Send me a picture of you in an apron with a mop and a pot roast." One guy asked me how to kiss a woman. I said, "Lower." My mom wanted me to go into nursing. I wanted to be an actress, so we compromised. I acted like a nurse. I once had this patient, I had to tell her her husband died. I couldn't find my motivation. Before I became a comedian, I was a urology nurse. That's right, I went from examining dicks to being heckled by dicks. I worked in urology when Viagra was invented. It was hard. But only when they were done. Viagra increases blood flow, which is strange because when a man's penis gets harder, his brain stops working. I used to love working the urology night shift. I'd line those dicks up, kiss them goodnight. That's how you do it in Brazil. I saw all sorts of dicks. I saw dicks with walkers, crutches. One guy came in with his dick in a sling. I said, "What happened to you?" He said, "I sprained it, playing pickleball." I once had a penis speak to me. Turns out, the guy was a ventriloquist. You ever had a dick complain to you? He thinks I'm lazy, but I'm the first one up every morning. I'm always kept in the dark on everything. I'm lonely. I mean, I got 2 friends I hang out with, but they don't say much. And almost everyone who came into the clinic wanted a bigger penis. Most of the time, it was the wives. Only one time did a guy come in and ask for a reduction. "It's too big. Last night I got it caught in the freezer door. Can you help me?" I felt so bad for that guy. All he really needed was a good woman. So I gave him my number. I'm just so glad that chapter of my life is over. I'm not going back to a hospital, unless it's for a boob job. I did learn one important thing about men and their penises. The minute they think it's not working, they run for president. All right, thank you so much. I'm Priya Guyadeen.